Imagine you're being chased by a lion. You spot a tree. The lion is getting closer. Your only chance is to climb. So you jump, you grab the trunk, you scramble upwards, and within seconds, you're exhausted. The lion catches you. Game over. Now, here's the strange part. Millions of years ago, some of our distant ancestors would have had a much better chance. There was a time when climbing trees wasn't just something our ancestors would do, it was one of the most important skills they had. So, what happened? How did we go from spending our lives in trees to becoming a species that struggles to climb even a backyard oak tree? Did humans actually forget how to climb? Or did we give it up for something even better? To answer that question, we need to go back millions of years. Long before modern humans existed, our distant ancestors spent much of their lives in the trees. Trees provided almost everything they needed: food, shelter, safety. If a predator appeared below, climbing could mean the difference between life and death. For our ancestors, climbing wasn't a hobby, it was survival. The better you could climb, the more likely you were to live long enough to pass on your genes. Over time, primates evolved bodies that were perfectly suited for life above the ground. Flexible shoulders, powerful arms, grasping hands, and feet that could grip branches far better than ours can today. In fact, some of our ancestors had feet that were much more ape-like than modern human feet. Their big toes were positioned in a way that helped them grip branches. Imagine having something closer to a second thumb attached to your foot. That's much closer to what some of our ancestors were working with. Moving through the trees was second nature. A forest wasn't an obstacle, it was home. But then, the world started to change. Not overnight, not in a single generation. Over millions of years, parts of the world became cooler and drier. Forests slowly shrank. Open grasslands began replacing dense woodland. The trees that our ancestors relied on became fewer and further apart. For some of these early ancestors, spending more time on the ground became unavoidable. At first, they probably climbed down to travel between patches of forest, then climbed back up. But generation after generation, something more important happened. The ground stopped being a temporary place to visit. It became where life happened. And once that happened, evolution began pushing our ancestors in a new direction. This is where most people get the story wrong. Humans didn't stop becoming bad climbers. What actually happened was much more interesting. We made a trade. As our ancestors adapted to life on the ground, their bodies slowly changed. Their legs became longer. Their hips changed shape. Their posture became more upright. Their feet became better for walking and running. These changes made climbing more difficult. But they unlocked an ability that would completely change the future of our species: endurance. Most animals are faster than humans. A horse is faster. A wolf is faster. A cheetah is obviously faster. But humans became incredibly good at one thing: not stopping. Imagine being hunted by something that never gives up. Not a lion, not a wolf, a human. Early humans weren't the fastest hunters on Earth, but they didn't need to be. Instead, they used a strategy known as persistence hunting. They would track an animal, follow it, keep moving. Hour after hour under the hot sun, the animal would sprint away, then stop to recover. The human would keep coming. The animal would run again. The humans would keep coming, again and again and again, and eventually the animal would overheat, slow down, and collapse from exhaustion. Humans weren't winning because they were stronger. They were winning because they refused to quit. A horse can outrun a human. A deer can outrun a human. Almost everything can outrun a human, but surprisingly, over long distances, humans can outperform many animals because of our ability to cool ourselves through sweating. In some situations, the thing chasing you doesn't need to be faster. It just needs to never stop. It's a strategy that sounds almost unbelievable today, but it may have played a major role in our success, and it only became possible because our bodies were adapting for life on the ground instead of life in the trees. Of course, that came with a cost. Modern humans aren't nearly as specialized for climbing as our ancestors were. Our feet no longer grip branches. Our bodies are optimized for walking. And compared to some of our closest relatives, we're actually pretty terrible climbers. The average chimpanzee isn't just better at climbing than you, it's dramatically stronger than you relative to its size. Scientists estimate chimpanzees can be roughly 1.5 to 2 times stronger than humans, pound for pound. If humans and chimps competed in climbing, it wouldn't even look like the same sport. But here's the interesting part. We never completely lost the ability. Even today, experienced climbers can do things that seem impossible. Rock climbers scale sheer cliffs. Gymnasts swing effortlessly from bars. Parkour athletes move through cities in a way that almost resemble our tree-dwelling ancestors. And strangely enough, there may even be traces of those ancient climbing abilities hidden inside us. Human babies are born with an incredibly strong grasp reflex. If you've ever had a baby grab your finger and refuse to let go, you've seen it yourself. Some researchers believe this reflex is a leftover from a much older time in our evolutionary history when gripping and holding on could mean survival. The ability is still there, it's just no longer essential. Our ancestors climbed because they had to. We climb because we choose to. And that difference changes everything. So why did humans forget how to climb? The answer is that we didn't really forget. We stopped needing it. Over millions of years, we traded one survival skill for another. We gave up some of our ability to move through forests and gained the ability to travel farther than almost any animal on Earth. The next time you struggle to climb a tree, remember this. Your ancestors would have made it look easy, but they gave up that advantage for something far more powerful. Because while other humans mastered the trees, humans walked out of the forest and changed the world.